America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com. If you're into liberty and libertarian values, tune in to The Angel Clark Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, at radiofreedom.us. The hottest new talk radio show is on Revolution Radio. The BK Factor talks about news, religion, politics, and more. BK adds his opinion to all of it. The BK Factor airs Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, noon to 2 Eastern. If you miss a show, you miss out. There's only one man that has accomplished everything that he has set out to do. That man is Chris Top. The Chris Top Program on Spreaker.com. Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Having a little technical issue going on here. I got some technical issues going on here, and I don't know. They seem to be okay for now. But I don't know, man. I don't know what they are. I seem to find, little bugs here and there and fix them, and then something else pops up. I don't know. Anyway, any tech gurus out there? Tell me why the heck I'm start to move my mouse and the cursor doesn't move at all, and I've replaced the batteries in my wireless mouse 3 or 4 times, and then what it does is it moves a little and then goes all over the place, and then I go to click something, and then if I click like a link on a page, I find that the cursor went clear down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and then I got to move it around, or I click something and then nothing works, and then I gotta click the link again, whatever it is I'm doing, and then it works. I have no idea. I know that it's not the mouse because I've hooked it up to my laptop. Not a problem. I got 2 wireless mice, and I've hooked them both up between my laptop and my desktop. The only problem is the desktop. That's it. And I thought, because I run Linux Mint, I thought, well, maybe it won't happen there. Yeah, it happens there, too. So I know for a fact it's my computer system. It's my desktop. So anybody want to give away their desktop? Because I'm about done with mine. I'd like to take this and put this in a catapult and just send it off into the netherworld. It has everything to do with Windows. As a matter of fact, Linux Mint doesn't... it's an annoyance. Let's put it that way. Little mouse problems like that is an annoyance. I'm moving my mouse right now over the DJ console, and I'm fine, and it's good, and it's going along just fine. But every so often, not right now, but I can be doing that, and it'll stop right there. Just stop wherever as I'm moving the mouse, and then I move it a little more, and then the cursor starts moving again. So, and it's not the software. I've updated the software. It's Windows. It's Windows. I don't know how to use Linux Mint or anything Linux very effectively, nor does anyone know how to develop a Linux operating system the way I want them to, period. Not anyone knows how to do it. No one. I've asked. They said, well, you know, those Linux programs, they're for developers and stuff like that. Yeah, I know they're Einstein. Anyway. Hey, if my sound is okay, let me know. If I'm doing good, let me know, because I really, really want to know. I'm playing around with the mixer, so it doesn't sound as clear or as it used to. So I'm just messing around with all of it. On air. Yeah, I know. Bad person. Anyway, it's Monday. I'm your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and this is the 3rd of March, 2014. Thank goodness for people listening to this show. I mean, I just spill out my heart in the first 10 minutes of the show, or 6 minutes of the show, and yeah, thank you. Saves me on therapy bills. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Yeah, $125 an hour. Yeah, you guys are a lot less than that. Trust me. So, anyway, anywho, go to Free America Radio on Facebook. 2012, Romney warned of potential Russian aggression. Obama's response: the 1980s are calling to ask for their foreign policy back. 2014, here's a picture of the Russians invading Ukraine. Yeah, who thinks that Romney and Palin were blowing smoke? Yeah, they were right. So I want all you naysayers out there, I want an apology from all those people out there that say that everything I'm talking about, it's all bogus. Really? Oh, I know there's propaganda out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know way too much propaganda out there, coming from our own government, by the way. So, the thing that really, I think, in my opinion, just my opinion, just me and my opinion, I think that when people talk about the government, talk about, the stuff that I talk about, that Nick Tucker talks about, we're always going to be the brunt of someone's lack of understanding of what is going on. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there that understand what's going on. I know that there are people out there. I hear from them sometimes. But I also see that there are those people out there who's they're not going to have a good day unless they're moaning and groaning and complaining about someone talking about 9/11 being an inside job and Benghazi being, a total disaster because the government was in on it and blah, blah, blah. It was a hit. I mean, for those people who just wake up and want to constantly be in the face of the truth tellers and the freedom-loving, liberty-loving people of the truth movement, I don't even feel sorry for them. I don't. They're pathetic. Why wake up in the morning and the first thing on your agenda is, I'm going to go tell those conspiracy theorists to shut the hell up? Really? Well, I can say the same thing for you there, Mr. Naysayer. How about packing your bags and getting the hell out of the country? Because you obviously don't know what freedom and liberty truly are, and so you need to leave. Now, some people might argue with me and say, well, you can't tell them to leave because this is a free country and we're, free to say whatever we want. Okay, I'll give you that part of the argument, and I'll stand beside you to defend your freedom of speech. But when your freedom of speech begins to infringe upon my pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, I got a problem with that. I got a huge problem with that. And I'd rather pack your bags myself and send you off to another country that you might be more satisfied to live in. That's just me, though. That's just me. You know what I mean? So anyway, enough of that. Free America Radio on Facebook, freeamericaradio.us. This is the website. Check it out. Support alternative media if you can. I know we need it. Boy, do we need it. Oh, boy, do we need it. Whoops. Did I do something? I may have hit something. I'm sorry. I'm playing around here and trying to get the best sound for you. Ooh, there. Yeah, there we go. Free America Radio on Facebook. The Daily Sheeple, Connecticut Patriot Group fights back against confiscation. Yeah. The state just said, we want your gun. We want you to register your guns, and here's what we will allow you to have, but we want you to register them, and yada, yada, yada. Well, the citizens of Connecticut went up yours, gave them the big middle finger, and said, literally, they said, and I quote, "We are armed and are familiar with the finer points of marksmanship." Mark Slavo from shtfplan.com wrote this. And I got to tell you, I mean, what more do you need? What more do you need to show that we are living in a police state? What more do you need? I mean, it says right here, Mark Slavo writes, "The war on liberty is coming to a head in Connecticut, where tens of thousands of gun owners have refused to comply with their state's government's gun registration laws. Officials have literally ordered those who failed to meet the registration deadline to surrender their firearms or face arrest." Really? Seriously? It doesn't take a stretch of the imagination to understand that the enforcement of this law can only come at the barrel of a gun. Therefore, we can conclude that we may soon see SWAT-style raids on the homes of suspected lawbreakers. Because we're talking about gun confiscation, you can be fully assured that the state will not be knocking nicely, and they won't be asking residents to exit their homes. They're going full force. I really think from my perspective, I really think that there's a huge problem. Massive, huge problem. And Mao Zedong, Mao whatever, piece of crap, said that it will come at the barrel of a gun. I don't know the exact quote, so I'm sorry. But I got to tell you, I'm not going to sit here and let the citizens of Connecticut be run over by a mafia-style, fascist-style, tyrannical, totalitarian government like the state of Connecticut. And all you freedom-loving, liberty-minded people should basically get out there and support them. And the state militia should go in each and every single neighborhood, recruiting all of those people in there that want freedom and liberty. And they should stand up against the law enforcement. Oh, and by the way, law enforcement needs to tell the state, up yours, we're not going in. And, well, you know, there's more people in the state of Connecticut than there are law enforcement. Oh, you're asking for a civil war. No, I'm asking for a realistic civil disobedience, peaceful demonstration of rebellion against unconstitutional laws, period. But you're asking for a revolution where people are going to start shooting at one another. Only if law enforcement shoots first. Then you have the God-given right to protect yourself, and all bets are off the table. Oh yeah, folks, it's a crapshoot. You bet it is. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you just how... I'm not going to go down the list of unconstitutional laws this government has perpetrated or has implemented into this system, including allowing the states to do what they do. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Okay? I think that, all in all, as we sit here pondering the future, looking at what might happen, looking at the things that are there, examining and speculating about the consequences, which I don't think anybody knows what it's going to be. I think as we're sitting here doing that, I think we need to really take a look at how can we take this government back? How can we take this government back? I don't know how, folks. All I know is that the guides that we've been given throughout history shows us that any one part of government that takes over is a detriment to the freedoms and liberties of the people. And I know that people fought back. I mean, the United States of America in the last 237 years or 38 years has been a very resilient country. We've bounced back from a lot of bad things. But we've never taken on our own government. The people in the Ukraine are faced with the Russian army coming into their cities. You know? Kind of makes me wonder. It does. It makes me wonder. I don't know, though. I mean, people are going to do whatever they want, and I understand that. But people have a God-given right to protect themselves and to protect their homes and all of that. So, we have to do what we have to do. And that's all there is to it. And the bottom line is, they've got you in their crosshairs. So let's be as peaceful and as civil in the disobedience and rebellion as we can. Let's not fire the first shot. But if they do, well, we're going to protect ourselves. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. Defending liberty and freedom. Fighting the New World Order. This is the Free America Radio Network. Yeah, this is the Free America Radio Network. How you doing today? Welcome back. This is Monday, the 3rd of March, 2014. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Yes, I use that title because I am. I'm one of the most unorthodox reverends you will ever meet. I'm not a religionist. Okay? Religionist. I'm a realist. I get it right up in your face and I tell you how it is. I get right up in your intellect. And I let you know how it is. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like people getting up in their faces. But you know what? Try backing down from a militarized law enforcement when he's got an M16 pointed at your face. Doesn't make your day, does it? At least with me, it's just words that I hope that you are encouraged enough to go check out on your own. But you know, what do we do, folks? That is entirely up to you. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Give you some articles and give you my view on it. Go check out Nick Tucker at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook and distortedreality.podbean.com and check that out as well. Support alternative media. Do what you can. Go to distortedreality.podbean.com or freeamericaradio.us. Support alternative media because we definitely need your support to get this message out. It might be free to you, but it does cost us a few pennies. So let us know what you can do, if anything, and support alternative media. There's from the American Patriot on Facebook, there's a picture they put up. Sheeple be like, wonder why Obama ordered billions of those coffins for, my favorite show is on. And the response to that is, I've seen stacks of bins like this at Intel. Are you sure they're coffins? Yeah. Anyway. I know that people seem to think that those pictures of those FEMA coffins, let me tell you what those are. Because I worked in a mortuary for 3.5 years in Lodi, California, and I can tell you exactly just by looking at them what they are. Some of them, these that are in the picture here, don't look like what I'm about to tell you, but because I'm not there, I'm not physically touching them, but from what they look like, if I'm looking at these correctly, and I believe that I am because they're sitting sideways, not long ways, so what they are is the casket. You go into a mortuary, funeral home, you see the caskets. Those come in these types of containers. And they're huge. Not the casket itself, but the container that the casket is in is huge. Okay? you can shove a lot of bodies in there, okay? So I'm saying that these things are, used for carrying caskets from like Batesville, is it Batesville? It's one of the casket companies here in the country. And so, yeah, the caskets are shipped in those containers. Okay? So I'm just telling you what I know from my own personal experience being in the funeral business, funeral business for 3.5 years. So I know what they are. Free America Radio on Facebook. A Sheep No More on Facebook says, huge news. DIA video admits agenda to depopulate now in effect. There's a video there that I really would like you to check out. There's a link to it as well. The shocking video has just surfaced on the Defense Intelligence Agency website. What astonishes me about the video, one of the writers at asheepnomore.net says, what astonishes me about the video is the fact that it openly promotes depopulation and further states that they are taking actions to prevent more people from populating the earth. Then they show images of bombs and chaos. I believe you'll find the promotion of such a video frightening. It's always odd to me, folks. It's odd that someone would try to debunk this idea that there are elites that want to depopulate the earth. I mean, it really, really, I'm at odds with these people. When all you have to do is go on YouTube and type in Bill Gates depopulation or Ted Turner depopulation, and you'll see what I mean. It's amazing, even to me, that people would it's amazing to me that people would literally try to debunk the elite's goal in depopulating the country or the world. It really is. When all you got to do is go look at YouTube and what they said. Just, there's so many things, folks. So many things. I do want to say that if in fact people want to try and debunk all this, from the FEMA camps to the FEMA coffins to depopulation of the world, if you want to make that attempt to try to debunk it, you go right ahead. But I know for a fact how you're going to do that, and I know you're going to ignore all of the source material's background before sending it to me. I know you are, because you're just going to see something and go, see, that's it, you're lying, you don't know. Did I say I knew everything? No. I know what I know because I hear what I hear, because I see and read what I see and read, respectively, and there I go. And there it is, on their own websites. Okay? On their own websites. You're not going to get around it, I'm sorry. It's there. It's there. I find it incredibly odd that I find it incredibly odd that people are just set their mind into this goal of anybody that says anything, I'm going to try to debunk them. Hey, folks, I've been there. I know exactly how they think. From the time they get up to the time they go to bed, I've been there. What changed my mind? Let's just say the proverbial rug was pulled out from underneath me. I face planted into the concrete. Makes a difference when you realize that what you were trying to debunk was actually factually true. It's a lot of stuff. Even with the additional information that I find on what I give you, I just look at it and go, oh my God, I overlooked this. Holy crap. You know? I don't know, folks. There's a reason why, and I know why this is, but I want you to figure this one out. There's a reason why people always want to contradict you. There is. So anyway, onward and upward. NationalGunRights.org. There's a picture up on Free America Radio on Facebook that says, End gun-free zones. I said, end gun-free zones near or in schools, churches, etc. And I mean that. I totally and absolutely am in support of every single college, every single university, every single staff member or service member there, you know, janitors and whatever. All of them need to be armed. All of them. You know? Now, a lot of people are going to, you know, say that they shouldn't, and then people are going to try to argue with me and try to argue their point as to why guns shouldn't even be allowed anywhere. I always have to ask, have you been talking to my ex-wife? I can tell you this much. I don't want another Columbine or another Fort Hood or another Virginia Tech or another Newtown. I'd rather have my teachers and the faculty and the staff of that educational institution to be armed, period. And besides, who better to protect the students when on average police officers are anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes away? There was a lady in New York. Well, New York has just banned everything pretty much. She had somebody break into her house and she shot the guy. And you hear these stories all over the place in states that have literally banned handguns. Why did the resident have a handgun when the state banned it? Well, for protection, dumbass. This is why I want a complete nationwide referendum that says the Second Amendment is the rule of law. Everyone can be armed. Now, you might think, what about the criminals? Criminals don't care about gun laws, nor do they care about the Constitution. They're criminals. Your domestic terrorists, your street gangs, all those folks, they don't care. They don't give a crap what you have in your house. They're going to steal it. And if you're not home, they'll break into your house and take your guns. Because mostly, if you look at the statistics, that's what happens. Well, aside from having a 24-hour guard inside your house, how do you protect it? Any way you see fit. But be lawful. Because I heard of somebody back east, I forget what state it was in, but a couple of years ago I heard of a guy getting arrested, a homeowner getting arrested because he killed a guy breaking into his house. Oh. How? And why? Well, he came home one day and he saw that his house was broken into. So he, fixed it up, called the insurance company, blah, blah, blah. And then he got broken into again, and he found out where this person was getting in. So he and I'm not condoning this, folks. Do not do this at home, please. So this guy rigged 2 shotgun shells in the window that this criminal was getting through. He opened the window, blam, shot him, killed, but the guy fell outside of the home, not inside. So the homeowner was arrested. Evidently he was let go or whatever, but I don't know the outcome, but I hear stories like that all the time. And frankly, the Second Amendment is the rule of law, and no city, state, county, whatever, can propose any legislation that is going to violate that. And if they do, then they are in total violation of the Second Amendment. And those people, those so-called leaders and politicians, need to be thrown out of office because they are in violation of the Constitution of the United States of America. Period. Done. Don't like it? Leave the country. That's your only option. Anybody that does not like the Constitution, does not like freedom or liberty, does not like any of those things, bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy your trip to Russia or China or Mexico. If you don't like guns, go to a place where there isn't any. But think about this. You're not going to have your neighbors protect you. You're on your own. I've not yet seen anybody who would disagree with the fact that if you didn't like America, you could leave. I've never seen anybody disagree with me on the fact that if you don't like the Constitution, you can leave. I've not yet seen anybody disagree with me on that. I have seen people try to argue their point, as useless as their point is, about, well, the Constitution protects my right to say whatever it is I have to say and to live any way I have to live. Really? So you're going to infringe upon my rights by declaring to your politician in your state that you are so offended by guns that you want legislation passed to confiscate my weapons, when in fact they're dumbass. My weapons are going to protect you against enemies, foreign and domestic? Think about that one next time you go to bed. Why? Just why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get why people want to continue to push their devalued principles into my face to make me change my mind and cater to their delusional little, fantasy world of everybody living in peace. It does not happen. At all, ever. Never will. Ever. It just does not work that way. And if you have any thought at all about your neighbors not being there to protect you, if you look around your neighborhood and look around in the 2 or 3 houses next to you or a couple across the street, and you keep thinking, oh, those neighbors they'll never come protect me if I'm, something's wrong over here, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. The Marina District in San Francisco in 1989 with the Northridge earthquake, there was a lot of people out there that never would have come together in any other thing, but there was a disaster and everybody worked together, no matter who they were. So think again there, bright guy who went to college. You don't like guns? Get the hell out of the country now. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.thereisabladeexpress.com. americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com. If you're into liberty and libertarian values, tune in to The Angel Clark Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, at radiofreedom.us. The hottest new talk radio show is on Revolution Radio. The BK Factor talks about news, religion, politics, and more. BK adds his opinion to all of it. The BK Factor airs Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, noon to 2 Eastern. If you miss a show, you miss out. There's only one man that has accomplished everything that he has set out to do. That man is Chris Top. The Chris Top. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. How you doing? How you doing? This is the Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network. Please support alternative media. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Support us if you can, if you're able to. If you're not, hey, that's fine. We're going to be here anyway. But if you can, please do. Go to Distorted Reality with nicktucker.podbean.com. Check out his episode. Go check out Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. And, yeah. Alternative media is where it's at, folks. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what it would entail for me to say anything. I'm getting some really bad hissing in my headphones. Do you hear it, folks? I don't know what to say. I mean, we have a situation in this government that is just, it's tearing us up. It is tearing us up. If the purpose of President Obama in his 2008 campaign was to divide and conquer us for his bosses of the New World Order, his puppet masters, then he's doing a damn good job. You know why? Because you're letting it happen. You're letting it happen. You're letting every single thing that he does happen. And that's just the way it is. I don't know. I'm at the point where, should we allow all of this to happen? Should we just let it go? The White House and Israel's Netanyahu pushes back against Obama diplomacy. That's from yahoo.com. News.yahoo.com. I'll put this up on the Free America Radio website, or Free America Radio Facebook page. Sorry. And Jeff Heller and Matt Sotalnik and Yahoo at Reuters, actually, put this up about a half hour ago. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bluntly told Barack Obama on Monday that he would never compromise on Israel's security, even as the U.S. president sought to reassure him on Iran and nuclear, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bluntly, it's the operative word there, told Barack Obama on Monday that he would never compromise on Israel's security, even as the U.S. president sought to reassure him on Iran nuclear diplomacy and pressure him on the Middle East peace talks. In a White House meeting overshadowed by the Ukraine crisis, the two leaders avoided any direct clash during a brief press appearance, but were unable to paper over differences on a pair of sensitive diplomatic drives that have stoked tensions between them. Obama assured Netanyahu of his, quote, absolute commitment, unquote, to preventing Iran from developing atomic weapons, despite the Israeli leader's deep skepticism over U.S.-led efforts to reach a final international deal to curb Tehran's nuclear program. But, warning that time was running out, Obama also urged Netanyahu to make, quote-unquote, tough decisions to help salvage a faltering U.S.-brokered peace process aimed at reaching a framework agreement with the Palestinians and extending talks beyond an April target date on an elusive final accord. Quote, the Israeli people expect me to stand strong against criticism and pressure, unquote, Netanyahu told the president. Obama and Netanyahu, who have had strained relations in the past, showed no outright tension as they sat side by side in the Oval Office, but were cordial and businesslike. But their differences were clear, and when the talks ended after nearly 3 hours, there was no immediate sign of progress. Netanyahu arrived in Washington to a veiled warning from Obama that it would be harder to protect Israel against efforts to isolate it internationally if peace efforts fail. The Israeli Prime Minister used their brief joint appearance to put the onus on the Palestinians to advance prospects for peace and also to vow to hold the line on what he says as Israel's security imperative. In his remarks, Netanyahu offered Obama what was essentially a history lesson covering the last 20 years of conflict with the Palestinians, as well as Israelis see as an existential threat from Iran, arch foe of the Jewish state. Quote, Iran calls openly for Israelis' destruction, so I'm sure you'll appreciate that Israel cannot permit such a state to have the ability to make atomic bombs to achieve that goal, Netanyahu said. And I, as Prime Minister of Israel, will do whatever I must to defend the Jewish state, unquote. Obama is seeking room for diplomacy with Iran, while Netanyahu, who has stoked U.S. concern in the past with threats of unilateral strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, has complained that sanctions on Tehran are being eased prematurely. The meeting with Netanyahu marked a new direct foray into the Middle East peacemaking by Obama, whose first-term efforts ended in failure. Secretary of State John Kerry has been trying to persuade Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to agree to a framework deal that would enable land for peace negotiations to continue, even though there is widespread skepticism inside and outside of the region about his chances for success. Abbas, who seeks Palestinian statehood, is due at the White House on March 17th. He has resisted Netanyahu's demand repeated during the Oval Office meeting for the Palestinians to recognize Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. Netanyahu appeared to be pushing back implicitly against Obama's warning in a Bloomberg View interview of international fallout for Israel if peace efforts break down and building of Jewish settlements continues. Israelis, increasingly concerned about an anti-Israel boycott movement, view such U.S. warnings as an attempt to squeeze out concessions, possibly further complicating the talks. An Israeli government showed that Israeli construction starts of settlers' homes had more than doubled last year. Palestinians seek to establish a state on the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Israel captured those areas in 1967 Middle East War, and in 2005 pulled out of the Gaza Strip, now run by Hamas Islamists opposed to Abbas's peace efforts. I'll put that up on the Free America Radio Facebook page. All I can say, folks, is for thousands and thousands of years, there's always been an attempt to have peace in the Middle East. Let me break it to you, a little reality check. There will never be peace in the Middle East as long as there are two opposing forces who want the land. Okay? There will never be peace in the Middle East. Besides, when you go look at history, it never was peaceful. It started out with two brothers, one taking control of the other one and just saying, look, you go over here. Well, no. The one brother separated himself from the family and created his own, got his own people together. I'm probably wrong in that, but please correct me if I am. That's why they're fighting. Sibling rivalry. And an expert, I can't remember his name right offhand, but he was on, I believe he was on with Pete Santilli, on the Pete Santilli show over at Guerrilla Media Network. That literally, I don't know if it was that or somebody else that I heard, but I do remember hearing that the Palestinians are more Jewish than the people that settled in Israel. Now somebody's got to go check that one out, because if I'm wrong, I will admit to it. Facts are facts, people. You can't steer away from the well, no, let me rephrase that. Yes, you can steer away from the facts if you want to ignore the facts. Yes, you can. But it's going to come back to bite you. You have to look at this stuff and just... I don't know why anyone would want to ignore the facts. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I'm at a crossroad, really. I'm at a crossroad. I know for a fact there will be no peace in the Middle East. You've got the Israeli people, you've got the Palestinian people, and now you have the Muslim people. Why do you think there's a Temple Mount? If you go into that area and you sit down with an Israeli cleric or priest or whoever, or minister, or whatever, I don't know what they call them over there, and you sit down with all three of them, the Muslim, the Jewish, and the Israeli Christians, And you sit down with them and you talk with them. You know, from what I've seen in interviews, with most of the time when that happens, they're really good people. They're just saying, we're here, we're compromising, we don't want war, we don't want this. You know? Do I believe biblical history? Or biblical prophecy? That Jesus is going to come down, split the Temple Mount, and put all three of them people in timeout, and say, look, I told you I was coming. You didn't believe me. Do I believe any of that? Oh, I believe there's going to be a spiritual change in this world. I don't believe in any, miraculous, angels from heaven coming down. It just doesn't jive. I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm just saying I don't see it that way. From my perspective, from my 30-some-odd years in religious study and research and all of that, I just don't see it that way. 90% of the Bible is symbolic analogies, and, well, the Bible is also, as we know it today, incomplete and has errors. So, how embellished is it to get us to live a moral life? Who knows? But I do see a spiritual change coming all over the world. But there will be no peace in the Middle East. I saw a movie years ago that showed a Muslim leader, a new world order leader who was Muslim. And within all the fighting going on in Israel and the planes flying around and the bombs dropping, all of a sudden, nothing. It all stopped. It was like, I remember the part of the movie I saw where somebody's looking up and planes were exploding in midair, the opposition to the Christians, They had planes and the jets were blowing up and all this. And all the bombing stopped. It just stopped. I don't remember what happened after that, but I can tell you this much. If we, the people here in the United States of America, don't get up off our ass and start doing something and start, getting out there in civil disobedience and protesting peacefully. I mean, look, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people got out in the streets in Brazil and Tunisia and Egypt and Rome and everything, or Greece, I should say. They did it in the Ukraine. And Iceland kicked out all the criminals out of their they put all their politicians who were criminal into prison, and they kicked out all the bankers. And what are we doing? We're putting up with this crap. That's what we're doing. Enough. Don't put up with it. It's your home. It's your freedom. It's your liberty. And you're sitting there watching the damn Dancing with the Stars? Are you out of your mind? What do you think this is? Some cartoon where if you get hurt, you'll just get right back up and things will be fine. Get real, people. This is real stuff in your neighborhood, and it's really going to happen, and if you don't do something about it, I don't know what to tell you.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Free Talk Live.
You give someone an ounce of liberty, and they'll go around abusing it and harming everyone else with it.
If we legalize guns...
People will be shooting people everywhere.
Right.
If you legalize prostitution, people will be having sex on the street corners. If you legalize drugs, we'll have heroin vending machines in the streets. We've heard it all on Free Talk Live. They take it to the most absurd, illogical extremes, and you're absolutely right, Alexander. It's okay for them to have freedom.
Yeah, you can give them a gun. They won't go around shooting people, but watch out with their neighbor, because you give them a gun, they'll go around in a rampage around the city, killing everyone.
But yes, they can be trusted, and apparently the government can be trusted too, because magically, we only elect the best of the best, the cream of the crop. The bureaucrats that are administering these programs are the upper echelon of society, the most trustworthy individuals.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when I squint, I swear I can see a halo above their heads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of the mainstream media? The media that is so biased, you wouldn't even let your dog listen to it? Well, there's an answer. Angel Club.
On RadioFreedom.us.
Just listen to her fans.
One hell of a writer. I've read a considerable amount of her articles and quite impressed.
Until Angel, my life was void of meaning.
I want to thank you for saving my goldfish from drowning.
I love Angel Clark's honesty and her down-to-earth concern about the people.
She is very dedicated.
Angel, we need you.
This Angel's a sexy woman. I think she's going to go places, but I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does a good job.
If it wasn't for Angel,
you saved his life, and I will be indebted to you forever. SussexCountyAngel.com.
Be a part of Angel's Army.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on RadioFreedom.us.
Free Talk Live.
Do you guys have a zombie plan? I'm just wondering what this country's going to do if we had some sort of apocalypse like that.
Like a zombie attack.
Do?
People coming out of the ground, like in Thriller, like in Michael Jackson's
like 28
Thriller.
days later, like a virus or something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people don't come back to life.
Well, no, there are different kinds of zombies out there.
Now,
but let me go through the types of zombies. I mean, you've got the ones that can crawl out of the ground, right? And then she was talking about like an infection kind of zombie, like a la Resident Evil, for instance. So ideally, if you're going to have to perish at the hands of a zombie, which would be the preference? Would you prefer to have your brains eaten, or would you prefer to become one of them?
I think I'd rather just die. The last thing I'd want is, of course, the people you split up with. Then I'm talking my wife and my child. I'm coming back. I'm wanting to eat Laura's brains. It's bad. It's bad.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. What does freedom mean? Tune in to LRN.FM to find out. LRN.FM is the Liberty Radio Network, a collection of live talk radio and podcasts, all coming from a principled pro-liberty perspective. LRN.FM show hosts aren't left, right, or conspiracy kooks. You can tune in 24/7 to LRN.FM via your phone, computer, satellite, and more. Listen free anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Folks, how you doing? This is the views expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network. Hey, I got a question for you. How's my sound? How am I sounding? Is it good? Is it okay? Is it distorted? Is it low? Let me know. email me, freeamericaradio@unseen.is, freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Yes, folks, this is the 3rd of March, 2014. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. You are listening to The Views Expressed live, broadcasting live from behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9 from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Yes, go check out, I got some shows for you to go check out. Go check out Nick Tucker over at distortedreality.podbean.com. distortedreality.podbean.com, or Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Yes, go check out him as well. There's a lot of things going on, quite a few things happening. I don't know, folks. I'm at the end of my rope sometimes. I am. Oh, sorry, folks. I'm on my laptop surfing the web. Okay, I'm just looking for a page, all right? Just give me a break. I'm here. Russian markets plunge as Putin tightens Crimea grip. Obama 2015 budget seeks $60 billion in tax credit expansion. Okay, Japan's regional banks are urged to merge. And U.S. factory spending data hint at improving economy. The economy is not improving, folks. It's not improving. Okay? It's not improving, and I'll tell you why. It's real simple. Okay? I know for a fact that I can see it all around me. I can go out to the mall, I can go out to, someplace downtown, I can see the people in the casinos here in Reno, Nevada. I see them walking around a lot. I don't see them buying much of anything, and I don't know how much the economy is improving. U.S. probes Citi, that's Citibank, over compliance with money laundering laws from India. From India's backwaters, a new business elite. And from Money at Reuters.com, will Warren Buffett's advice work for you? Now, of course, from Venezuela, thousands gather for anti-government protests. From Syria, life and death sentence in Damascus. And if you don't think this Ukrainian invasion, or I should say the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, let's put it that way, if you don't think it's going to cause us to suffer in some way, Wall Street caught up in Russia-Ukraine worries. Stock prices fell, gold prices rose, and money flowed into the treasuries as investors, nervous of the growing threat of war, shifted assets around despite signs of rebounding U.S. economy. That's Conway G. Gittins reports. It's at Reuters.com, folks. All those little headlines are at Reuters.com. Let's just click on one and I'll give you a rundown. What I just read, Wall Street sells off as Ukraine-Russian tension rises. Angela Moon over at Reuters. Thank you, Angela. U.S. stocks tumble on Monday alongside other risky assets globally as tensions in Ukraine and Russia escalated after Russian President Vladimir Putin declared he had the right to invade his neighbor. Really? You mean I got a right to invade California? Holy crap. News that Ukraine mobilized for war on Sunday in Washington threatened to isolate Russia economically overshadowed better-than-expected U.S. data, including an index showing that factory activity rebounded from an eight-month low in February. The S&P 500 had closed at a record high on Friday, and profit-taking was expected on Wall Street due to the political uncertainty. The index found some support when it fell to 1,840, but broke below it after the first attempt. The S&P 500 extended losses in early afternoon trading and then recovered slightly to close above the support level. Quote, "It's too early to tell whether this would be a buying opportunity because we need to see how the tension between Ukraine and Russia, plays out. It depends on how far this escalates. But I would suggest hedging before making any bets at this point," unquote, said Randy Frederick, managing director of active trading and derivatives for Charles Schwab in Austin, Texas. I don't know, folks. I mean, how in the world do you see this? Okay? How in the world do you see this? I mean, if, I'm just going to put this out here, if this continues the way it goes, there's going to be some serious problems. It's going to be a problem for the Ukraine, obviously. It's going to be a problem for Russia because they're at the brink of financial collapse. Now, I know a lot of the world elites are going to pour money into Russia and China, and China and Russia are working together as far as economically trading money and trading commodities and all that, because they're not dealing with the U.S. anymore. They quit. They said, your dollar is worthless. We're going to trade amongst ourselves now. The U.S. dollar was the world's reserve currency, and they went, no, we're not going to use it. It's worthless. So what do? You do the next best thing. That's what you do. You do what you know is right in your heart to do. You know that the next step that you take is going to either make or break you. What do? You hedge your bets. That's like that guy said. Right there. What did he say? Randy Frederick, managing director of active trading and derivatives for Charles Schwab in Austin, Texas, said, quote, "It's too early to tell whether this would be a buying opportunity because we need to see how the tension between Ukraine and Russia plays out. It depends on how far this escalates, but I would suggest hedging before making any bets at this point," unquote. Which means don't bet. Here I live in a gambling city of Reno, Nevada, and everyone says the same thing. Do not gamble any more than what you can afford to lose. Okay? How is this going to play out in the world economy? If Russia and the Ukraine, and this is all, by the way, this is all smoke and mirrors, folks. This is also what Putin is doing. He's making a good faith effort because his bosses told him so. And don't tell me he doesn't have any, because he does. He just got rid of the Rothschild Bank out of Russia. He gave him the money back. He said, "Here you go. I no longer need you." You know. Vladimir Putin is 62 years old, and he is not a stupid man, okay? He was KGB, he was in intelligence, he was all that. Yeah, tell me. This guy's very, very brilliant at what he does. It's a freaking chess game, folks. It's a freaking chess game. You ever played chess? It's a chess game. And the greatest thing about this is it's being played out in front of us, and people are sitting back going, oh my God, there's another war coming. No. If there is, I will admit that I was wrong, but this is a massive worldwide chess game, and all the pieces are being moved all over the board. That's like having your opponent's knight in a position to steal your queen, to capture your queen on the chessboard. That's what it is. And for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be diplomacy. But if Russia pulls the trigger and attacks people, the Ukrainian people, from what I understand from one of the reporters that works for the Blaze radio network, I'm going to say this: if Russia pulls the trigger, Ukraine is going to defend themselves. Okay, I mean, that's just the way it is. Whether people like that or not, it doesn't really matter. It's going to happen. Right now, you have two choices. Either Putin can stop right now, and him and, well, their puppet that they have in the Ukraine now. I don't know if there is a leader or what, but they're going to set up a puppet. They're doing exactly what we do. We go into different countries, occupy them, kick out those leaders that won't play ball with us that we've set up many years ago, and then we put somebody else in. That's what Vladimir Putin's doing. Same thing that we do. The unfortunate part is those people don't like it. The Ukrainian citizens do not like it, and they will do everything they can to defend themselves. They don't want to be back under the rule and iron fist of Russia, so they're going to do everything they can not to let that happen. In other words, they don't want to be, and therefore they're going to fight to defend themselves. I don't know how it's going to play out. I just know that if a foreign enemy came to the United States, and we do have them here already, and they started firing on us, I would hope that somebody would get a freaking brain cell in their head and realize that you have to defend yourself. So anyway. I don't know, folks. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you have to really examine the overall goal of both parties. You really have to examine the overall goal of both parties. Now, the U.S., well, under this current regime, you're not going to get anything except complacency. The world is torn apart and torn asunder by all sorts of, garbage going on, and this president that we have in the United States, President Barack Hussein Obama, is more concerned about his handicap on the golf course than he is about world affairs. And he told, who was he talking to? He told Netanyahu, he said, look, we're going to do everything we can. We're not going to allow anything to happen to you. But behind the scenes, President Obama is working with, the Muslim Brotherhood, which of course is all over Iran. So, what kind of bullcrap is that? U.S. President Barack Obama comments to reporters on a situation in the Ukraine before meeting with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office in the White House in Washington, March 3rd, 2014. I'll read that article when I get back. Well, I'll tell you what, if anybody thinks that this is going to turn out to be like, really, really good in the end, you got another thing coming.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny, and I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
Free Talk Live.
When you call a government bureaucracy, more often than not, the person who you talk to will not know the answer to your question, but they'll tell you they think they know who the person is that has the answer, and they will pass the buck to that other person, and if they happen to pick up the phone, they'll usually pass on the buck, or you'll leave a voicemail and never hear back from anybody.
Right. I mean, I wasn't being rude at the PSA at all. The third person I talked to, she was getting pretty hot under the collar. It's like, what are you being so angry for? I'm just asking regular questions any person would.
Well, she's probably upset that she had to pick up her phone and talk to one of the little peons like you.
She's probably annoyed at her underlings who actually gave you her phone number and let you get through to her.
Yeah, that's probably the case. She just wants to play solitaire, and you interrupted her game, or she just wants to surf on the internet, and you just ruined her day.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Join the National Down Syndrome Society's My Great Story campaign
to honor and celebrate the amazing stories of the 400,000 Americans with Down syndrome.
If you had Down syndrome, tell us about your achievements, dreams, and aspirations.
If you know someone who has Down syndrome, tell us how they've inspired you.
Visit ndss.org/stories to share your great story.
This is The Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network, freeamericaradio.us, Free America Radio at unseen.is. Contact me. Ask me any question you like. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. Free America Radio at unseen.is. How you doing? Welcome back. This is the 3rd of March, 2014. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is The Views Expressed live on the Free America Radio Network. Yeah. Go check out wakingupthemasses.com. Go also check out the show Kicking the Capstone with your host, Bob Brutus. And there's some other shows on that network as well. So, check it out, wakingupthemasses.com. Go listen to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. You can check him out on Facebook, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. You can also check out his show, distortedreality.podbean.com. Yes. Go to freeamericaradio.us to support alternative media, and also go to distortedreality.podbean.com to support alternative media over there. We need your help. Every penny counts. And if you can do it, great. We appreciate it. If you can't, great. We appreciate it. Because we're still going to be here no matter what. Okay? There's always something going on. There's always things changing. There's always somebody trying to tell me I'm full of bull when I can produce every piece of evidence of the things I talk about. And they're still going to tell me I'm full of bull. So, check out history. We all need to do our own research. We need to really dig into all of this and find out, well, number one, why it is happening. Number two, we need to find out how these things transpire over the months to incrementally take away sovereign people's God-given rights. And 3, we need to take a look at this in a historical standpoint because this has happened before. Do you want it to happen in the United States of America? Obviously, there are some people out there that really don't care. But I will say this, and I will agree with Nick Tucker when he says this. We need to let this whole thing collapse. Because then we can grab the bankers, we can grab the corrupt politicians, we can grab the corrupt law enforcement, and we can throw their butts in jail. We can put them in prison where they all belong, period, end of sentence. We need to go as Icelandic on their asses is what we need to do. But I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to... I don't know what to do to wake you up. I really don't. I honestly do not. I don't have all the answers. I can give you guides. I can show you where to go. But you have to make up your own mind and figure it out yourself and do what is best for you. Do in your heart what you believe is right for you. Okay? That's it. I can't twist your arm. I can't make you do anything. I'm not going to give you the silver platter answer. That's just not me. I can point you the way, but you're the one that's going to have to figure it out. From Reuters.com, Obama 2015 budget seeks $60 billion tax credit expansion. That's from the White House. Jonathan Ernst wrote this over here at the Reuters. Thank you, Jonathan. President Barack Obama will strike a firmly populist tone in his 2015 budget plan on Tuesday, proposing to pay for an expansion of a popular tax credit for the working poor by eliminating tax breaks claimed by wealthy Americans. Well, yeah, that's going to go over like a ton of bricks. The proposal to expand one of the most popular U.S. government poverty reduction programs, the Earned Income Tax Credit, would cost $60 billion, a modest amount in the budget in which the president has $1.014 trillion in spending to parcel out, the White House said. Obama would pay for the tax credit expansion by closing tax loopholes exploited typically by wealthy fund managers and employees of professional service companies such as law, consulting, or lobbying firms. Yeah, like I said, it's going to go over like a ton of bricks, folks. You're going to cut those loopholes for the wealthy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The president's budget request is a scant 0.2% higher than his 2014 budget of $1.012 trillion because both amounts were set in a congressional budget deal in January. Even so, Obama's budget recommendation stands little or no chance of being approved. There you go. As is by Congress, where Republicans who control the House of Representatives disagree with the president's policy priorities, such as spending government money on job training. Now, let me read that again because you have to understand where the Republicans are coming at from this point of view, okay? From their point of view, really. Even so, Obama's budget recommendation stands little or no chance of being approved, as is by Congress, where Republicans, who control the House of Representatives, disagree with the president's policy priorities, and they always have, such as, spending government money on job training. Now, how are you going to get people off the unemployment line and back into the world of commerce and business and all of that and get them back to work if you don't help them transition from being unemployed or get them into retraining into something that they want to do, can do, or are able to do without government money? How are you going to do that? That's putting a big burden on the states, don't you think? Continuing. But the document will provide an agenda for Obama's fellow Democrats in an election year and help the president shift the debate to poverty reduction and middle-class betterment and away from deficit reduction, a theme that has dominated Washington budget battles for the past 3 years. Let me read that again. Because right there it shows you what the president's wanting to do and what he's not wanting to do. Says here, again I say, but the document will provide an agenda for Obama's fellow Democrats in an election year, the midterm elections, and help the president, shift the debate to poverty reduction and middle-class betterment and, away from deficit reduction. In other words, he wants to continue raising, just spending money like crazy. A theme that has dominated Washington budget battles for the past 3 years. Obama will also try to use the budget to give a boost to the middle class, many of whose members were struggling to recover from the deep recession in 2007 through 2009. Folks, we've never gotten out of it. By making contributions to workers' tax-protected retirement accounts automatic. Currently, workers must elect to have such contributions made to individual retirement accounts, and the White House says the switch will benefit about 13 million workers. Yeah, considering that there's almost 100 million people out of work when you look at the actual numbers. Okay? Also from Reuters, U.S. probe. You know what? Let me go back to that, and I'm gonna put that on. Let me go over here. I'm gonna put that on the Free America Radio Facebook page. I'm gonna copy and paste. So give me a second here, folks. I gotta get back to Facebook. I go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Let me scroll on down here and get to the point where I can post this. And there we go. It's in. It's on. It's posted. Free America Radio Network. You know, I just... How can you, seriously, folks, I could get back to Reuters because I was going to read you that other story, that other article. How can you, seriously, make an argument in Congress to spend more money? How can you? Seriously. I don't know. I don't get it. Okay? I don't get it. Oh crap. The story I wanted to read to you was off of the front page. That's okay. There was another one I wanted to read after that, so I'll just go here. Okay? From Reuters. Yemen drone strikes. Ambushes kill 10 people. At least 4 suspected al-Qaeda militants were killed in airstrikes in Yemen on Monday, following the deaths of several soldiers in the south of the country, local officials and state news agency Saba reported. The U.S. allied country, which shares a long border with Saudi Arabia, has been racked with lawlessness and violence since 2011, when mass protests forced long-serving President Ali Abdullah Saleh to step down. State news agency Saba said armed men set upon the soldiers in a pair of ambushes, killing 6 after the soldiers had foiled a mortar and rocket-propelled grenade attack on a gas pipeline in the southern Shabwa province. It said 14 other soldiers were wounded in the ambushes between Mayfaz and Radum district in Shabwa. The agency did not identify the attackers, but the government often blames Islamists linked to al-Qaeda for trying to sabotage the country's infrastructure. Local residents said a U.S. drone later targeted a vehicle traveling in the area and killed 2 of its occupants. Local officials said 2 more suspected al-Qaeda militants were killed in another drone strike in the Marib province, an oil-producing area in central Yemen where al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula operates. The United States has stepped up drone attacks as part of a campaign against AQAP, regarded by Washington as the most active wing of the network. Yemen, AQAP's main stronghold, is among a handful of countries where the United States acknowledges using drones, although it does not comment on the practice. Tackling lawlessness in Yemen, an impoverished Arabian Peninsula state bordering the world's biggest oil exporter, Saudi Arabia, is an international priority. The United States views Yemen as a front line in its struggle against al-Qaeda. In addition to the al-Qaeda threat, Yemen continues to confront demands by southern separatists for independence and is trying to quell rebels from the Shiite Muslim Houthi movement, which has been on an offensive to extend its control over the north. So, where are we going? Where are we going as the United States of America continues to occupy these countries and pull down their leaders, probably ones they set up 40 or 50 years ago, or 30, 20, whatever it was? Where's the United States going? Where's the United States going? How are we going to change things in the world? We're not. Most people, most countries, most leaders, most opposition leaders, rebel leaders, all of that, most of them don't like the U.S. Most of them do not like the U.S. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard these opposition leaders get so pissed off at American military personnel that they would just yell at the United States, have their diplomats yell at the United States and say, would you stop already, because we're tired of it. We're there in their country doing what? Helping fight a civil war that they started, and mostly most of the civil wars that are in other countries are started and funded by the U.S. military-industrial complex anyway, funded by CIA and the FBI, or the CIA and other forces within the United States military-industrial complex. So, in the early 70s, in the Ba'ath Party, British and American intelligence went in and set up Saddam Hussein in Iraq back in the 70s. Set him up and said, you're going to play ball. We set up Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, and we said, you're going to play ball. We set up most of the leaders. Back in history, we set up Mao Zedong in China, who killed over 60 million people. We set up British intelligence in the U.S. military and U.S. intelligence set up Adolf Hitler. Now they're not going to teach you that in your Governmental Indoctrination Institute textbooks. But when you look and dig through history and put the pieces together, you will see that something is not quite right and they're not telling us the truth. It's not every day that you get to the point to where you're just absolutely tired of all of the bull crap. Let me change that. It's not that difficult to get pissed off at these people who are telling you lie after lie after lie. It's not that difficult, but you have to remember, it's all propaganda, folks. And most of it, it's all there to put fear in your heart and cause you to be so confused that you're willing to give up your rights. And most of us are. As soon as...
What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by... Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com. If you're into liberty and libertarian values, tune in to The Angel Clark Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, at radiofreedom.us. The hottest new talk radio show is on Revolution Radio. The BK Factor talks about news, religion, politics, and more. BK adds his opinion to all of it. The BK Factor airs Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, noon to 2 Eastern. If you miss a show, you miss out. There's only one man that has accomplished everything that he has set out to do. That man is Chris Top. The Chris Top Program on Spreaker.com. This is the Free America Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time. You're listening to Views Expressed Live. Right here, broadcasting live from behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9, from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. Welcome to the Views Expressed Live. How y'all doing today? Are you good? Or are you happy? Did you wake up today on the wrong side of the bed? Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Tom Slick over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, playing all your independent music from all your independent artists right here on Spreaker.com, but you can find him and all of the information about Radio Rock the Blitz at radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. Check it out. You can listen to the show there as well. Just go over to the right-hand side of the screen and click on the play button. There you go. That's Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz with your morning brew crew, hosted by Tom Slick. How you doing? Are you good? Awesome. Because it's, what is this, Monday? What is it? I don't know what this is. What is this? It's Monday. You ever wake up in the morning and just realize, wait a minute, what did I not just do this a few hours ago? Especially if you work nights, you got to sleep during the day, right? You're like, what? Wait a minute, hold on, it's midnight, I should be in bed. That kind of thing. But I don't know, folks. I do not know. I want to ask you all a question. I'm sorry, I was reaching for my laptop. I was closing it out. I got to ask a question. Every once in a while I like to ask questions, and I've got this one. I'll go in this direction. Let me get off of the world's problems for a minute and just ask this question. If you're if you have a relationship, whether it be at your job, with a relationship you have with your supervisors, your bosses, whatever it is, or even at home in your own personal relationships that you have, why is it? Just a question. It doesn't need an argument or anything like that. But why is it one person will always, have I said always? Why is it one person will always put their foot down and say they're right all the time? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Just curious. So anyway. Hey, if you want to email me, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I will tell you I do not know. You can email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. That's freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Yes, what can we do? How can we do it? Now, there's a little paper that we have locally here in the Reno area called Reno News and Review, and on the front page it has Who Watches the Watchers. RN&R, which is Reno News and Review, begins a 6-part series looking at the use of deadly force by police in northern Nevada and beyond. Let me tell you folks, interesting article. Okay? Now, the first little part here I'm just going to read, but you can go to, I believe they have a website. Let me look here if they do or not. Yes, it's called newsreview.com. Okay, so you might want to go check that out there yourself. The first part here says the pain 18-year-old Brittany Andrews suffered on October 13th is beyond understanding. In the space of a few seconds, she saw her mother shoot her sister, then, a heartbeat later, watched Sparks Police Department officers mortally wound her mother, Monica Ritchie. Quote, I heard a gunshot and I saw my sister, Darcy Latham, fall, and I thought, oh my God, she just killed her. The young but decidedly forthright woman said, and then the cops started to walk forward and I heard shots. They were shooting my mom. Then I heard, keep your guns on her, and then I realized there was a second set of cops on the other side of my mom. After that, after they had shot my mom, I heard them saying, keep the guns on her, her hands moving. Sparks police officer Kim Hodge and other officers loaded Latham and Andrews into Hodge's cruiser, and that was it. Andrews said, we went around a corner and waited for an ambulance. What? Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Got to totally forgot the website. Go to newsreview.com, and if that story's on there, you check it out, man. I am done with the brutality and the bullies that are in uniform that have badges and guns. I'm done. I'm holding them all accountable. As a matter of fact, I call out every single law enforcement officer in the United States to either follow the Constitution, protect and serve as you were ordered to do so by that Constitution, or give up your badge and retire and leave now because you're worthless. I'm putting you all on notice. I can call the Reno Police Department right now and ask them, hey, what is your view on this police brutality against people? Why are you shoving them around? Why are you pushing them in the dirt? Why are you shooting them in the head when they didn't do anything? I would call them, but I don't have my Skype hooked up. So anyway, the police brutality has to end. I mean, this stuff went on in the 70s. I remember growing up in Stockton hearing about this stuff, and I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, and I was listening to this stuff on the local news going, what the hell are they doing? I mean, we've got thugs in uniform, both in law enforcement and military, by the way. We have thugs. That's what they are. But I know that there are some really, really, really good cops out there that will stand up for themselves and that will turn in these corrupt police. And I'm going to say this, the code of silence and the thin blue line has got to go. You good cops out there have to turn your fellow officers in, period. Because if you're not for us, you're against us. And be prepared, we will defend ourselves. We will. There was in Connecticut. The state of Connecticut is telling everybody, okay, you've got to register your guns, your magazines, all of that. You've got to do that. If not, you're a felon, and we're coming after you, and we're going to confiscate your guns. Well, somebody stood up in that meeting and literally said, I will not comply. And told them right to their face, well, stand up to your police and say, I'm not going to comply to your unconstitutional laws. I'm not going to do it. You want to bully me around? You want to push me around? You gonna pull out your gun and shoot me? Well, you better be prepared, because my family's going to sue you for everything you have. I've had it. I mean, growing up in Stockton, man, Stockton, California, literally, I've heard these things happening. I've seen these things happen. I used to work in a mortuary for 3.5 years. I've worked with police officers and sheriff's officers who were really good at their job. It went from the city and the state holding these officers accountable for the brutality, back in the 60s and 70s and beyond, to saying, hey, don't do that. Now, the Department of Homeland Security that runs the law enforcement in the United States of America is telling them, do whatever you need to do. If they get out of hand, just shoot them. And they are. So all you good cops out there, the ones that said that if your bosses tell you to take the guns away from the American people, you wouldn't, I'm calling you out. You better stand up and put your fellow officers that are corrupted in jail. Arrest them. You have that power. Given to you by the Constitution of the United States of America. Yeah. I've been looking into some situations and some information that, let's just say, Nick Tucker has been looking into the same thing. You can go to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. He's been looking into some things, and I'm going to bring him on next week. Not this week. This week's going to be full. I may bring him on at the end of the week. I'm not sure. I'm just going to look at it, but more than likely it's going to be next week, probably around Thursday, Friday maybe. And he's given me an idea, but I'm going to look into something that I had been informed of. I'll just say that. Because it's going to make or break the law enforcement in the United States of America. In other words, it's going to divide the law enforcement. It's going to divide those who are thuggish and those who are the upright, upstanding, good law enforcement officers. People aren't going to like what I'm going to bring forward, but you have to be responsible for your actions, or else someone is going to accuse you of something you didn't do. Think about that one. So anyway, coming down to the end of the show, I want to say that you can support Free America Radio Network by going to freeamericaradio.us, freeamericaradio.us, and you can help support Free America Radio Network get to the next level. Support all alternative media. If you don't want to support my show, you can support Nick Tucker's show at Distorted Reality Network and go from there. You can just please support Alternative Network. Don't even, just turn off your damn TVs. Your state-run media is lying to you through their teeth, and they don't give a crap about you. They don't. They're all lying. Well, they have to have, some bit of truth in there. I think the only people that really have the balls right now to stand up to, what's being said, and I'm going to say this, and no pun intended, but, even though Fox News has been known and is on record as being supported, 10% of that network is supported by a Saudi prince, I believe. I could be wrong in that. But the only person over there that I believe the only person over there that has any balls whatsoever to stand up to all of this and to ask the right questions pointed and directed right at the people that she's talking to is Megyn Kelly. She may do some fluff pieces and all this, that, and the other thing and say what she says, but she was an attorney, okay? So she knows. She's not a dumb woman, okay? I'm just saying. She's got more balls than most guys. But look what happened. Judge Andrew Napolitano's show was canceled. Glenn Beck left. I have and Sean Hannity, not Sean Hannity, Bill. I forget his name now. He's an author, but I believe that Megyn Kelly, within the next 2 to 3 months, maybe 6 months at the most, should quit. Go over to the Blaze. Go over to the Blaze Radio Network. Lori Dew from Fox went over there. Why not? I mean, hell, bring them all over there. I just don't, I don't trust state-run media anymore. I don't even watch it. I mean, I don't. I see blurbs and stuff and things posted about MSNBC and all this, and no. Even they're starting to ask questions, which is good, but they're not going to go far enough because they don't want to get slammed, you know what I mean? Their sponsors are going to go, don't talk about our friends. I don't know. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we were in we were in a free country. But think about it. Supporting alternative media means that you want the truth and you want the facts. Free America Radio Network is like that. WakingUpTheMasses.com is like that. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker is like that. We want to give you the truth with the facts. And I agree with Glenn Beck. It's a cultural problem. And if you get into the culture and get the truth with the facts into the culture and rebuild from there, nothing is going to stop people from innovating and being creative and kicking the tyrants out of Washington, D.C. So, something to think about. Something to think about. Like I said, if you have any questions, no question is off limits, please ask. Please ask. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. You can email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Please go to freeamericaradio.us for more information or to help support Free America Radio Network. We are going to the next level. We're on WakingUpTheMasses.com, RadioKahuna.com. We're moving all over the place, folks. And you can help me get even further. FreeAmericaRadio.us. In the meantime, remember this. Remember this. We the people have the power for we are America.